What's up, co-reporters, and welcome back to my channel. According to reports both from TMZ and the US Sun, Jace Evans has had no contact with his alleged mother, Jenelle Evans, ever since he ran away from her home for the third time. This should not come as a surprise to you guys because, of course, instead of being there for her son after he was allegedly abused by her deadbeat unemployed husband, David Eason, Jenelle decided to lead some sort of an online campaign against Jace and to claim that her family actually needed to be protected from him and his mental health. Right. Mind you, Jace ran away on September 20th. So it's been just over a month that he has had no contact with Jenelle or David. Now, why might that be? Why do you think that Jenelle perhaps didn't try to reach out to Jace or anything like that as his alleged mother? Well, that is because there was an order put in place by CPS, who currently has custody of Jace. So Jenelle has lost custody of him twice now. CPS put this order in place thanks to a judge saying that Jenelle could not have any contact with Jace unless Jace was the one to initiate contact with Jenelle. And David Eason is just not allowed to have any kind of contact with Jace or to even be near Jace. So, with now us hearing that Jace is not speaking to Jenelle, it's coming from him. And good for him for establishing those boundaries. I absolutely do not blame him. Jenelle has never had his best interest at heart, and that's not about to start now, all these years later. So I'm happy that he has realized that, and he is leaning more into his real mother, who is Barbara Evans, Jenelle Evans' mother. Now, Jace was actually pulled out of school while he was in Jenelle's care temporarily there, but now since being back with Barbara, he is back in school, and apparently he's thriving and is happier than he has been in a really long time. And I assume that in a really long time means since the last few months, that he was placed in the care of Jenelle Evans. So good for him on that. Mind you, Jenelle's deadbeat dog-killing husband, David Eason, has actually been charged with child abuse for allegedly strangling and putting his hands on Jace's arms as well. These are all just claims for the time being. He will have to answer to them in court by the end of this month. I believe it's November 28th. Don't quote me on that, but it's the very end of this month that he will have to appear in court to answer to these charges. Of course, I will be updating you on that as information becomes available. But for the time being, I'm happy to hear that he's being very well adjusted with Barbara at her home because, things were not perfect there either. And that was why Barbara ultimately wound up throwing up her hands and signing custody over to Jenelle because, unfortunately, Jace was having growing pains and Barbara, she's in her 70s. Like, it's just a lot to handle. Now, just because David is the only one that has currently been charged with child abuse doesn't mean that charges couldn't potentially come down for Jenelle Evans herself. So keep an eye out for that as well. And don't forget that the other children are being interviewed by CPS in regards to their safety within this household. Jenelle and David were actually scolded for making these interviews very difficult for CPS. Initially, CPS was willing to interview the children in front of David and Jenelle, but because they kept on trying to squash their ability to interview these children, David allegedly also threatened to shoot a CPS worker that turned up at the swamp. CPS said, you know what, at this point, we're going to interview the kids without you present because something's going on here. So, so far, no real updates have been provided as to that, but I think that sort of information is going to start trickling out as this case advances in court. Now, when it comes to what the court says in their charges towards David Eason, they say that he allegedly intentionally injured Jace, you guys. They're saying, and I quote, the defendant unlawfully and willingly did, being the parent of Jace V. Evans, who was a child less than 16 years of age, inflict physical injury on that child. The physical injury inflicted caused marks on their right arm and left and right side of their neck and was inflicted by other than accidental means. So that is a very, very heavy charge. Again, don't forget that there are claims that this alleged attack was captured on a Ring doorbell camera. So yeah, there's a lot going on. I'll keep you guys posted as usual. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on a single update. Again, really happy to hear that Jace is thriving back with Barbara. Good for him. Take care, you guys. Have a good day. Bye.